Oh, brother, looks like there's a problem in Texas. Apparently, Errol the True Spence and Derrick James, his former trainer at this point, are basically going to go through a lawsuit. And to me, it is very surprising that it came to this. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is what I would like to say a total destruction of Errol Spence in the ring and out the ring from Team Terrence Bud Crawford. Not only did Terrence Bud Crawford dismantle Errol the True Spence last year in the ring, but exposed the relationship between Errol Spence and Derrick James in the aftermath. Now, they say that you don't really know your closest friends or confidant until turmoil and strife happens. Now, over the years that Derrick James and Errol Spence have been around each other, I'm pretty sure they had, little disagreements here or there. But once the big money comes into play, who deserves what, then you have the psychological thing of taking your first L, and it was a hard L at that. That's going to come a lot of adversity. Um, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't really when I first saw the reports maybe a month or so ago, maybe even longer than that. I was like, nah, those brothers they gonna work it out, man. They too solid. They've been down too long for each other. But apparently not. Once it gets to the part when it goes to a court proceeding, somebody is real serious about it, and they feel like that's the only way. That's their last resort, usually. Before it escalates into something else, is somebody goes to the court and file paperwork. Now, according to the information, Derrick James is saying that he wants to get $5 million for half of what he feel like he's deserving. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It seemed like when I first, before the fight happened with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, when I saw Anthony Joshua coming from the UK and Ryan Garcia running in on the Derrick James camp, my first thought was, it seems like it's everybody's want to jump on the bandwagon and get on the ship on the good cruise popping cruise ship when everybody's up. You understand? And as soon as they jump on board to the Derrick James train, a fucking derailment happened with Errol Spence. And I honestly believe that it's possible that because of the accolades that Derrick received the previous year and how everybody was basically on his jock as the best trainer, people came through and rode a wave. And I believe that put a strain on the relationship between Earl and Derrick. It had to have had because Spence was just used to him and Derrick basically for the most part. They had their thing going on, and then of course Spence brought his fighter that he signed, Frank Martin, who's about to fight Tank Davis soon, to Derrick James. And if Derrick James have any other fighters, I'm not aware of. But either way, it was an intimate setting and a smaller stable that can be easily managed for what they were doing. Now you got a former heavyweight champion of the world who's larger than life over there in the UK, huge stature, totally coming from a totally different mindset, and this quitting ass, prima donna ass Ryan Garcia, who done stunk up the joint in Canelo's camp years ago, and it's basically an Instagram model, male model, who has a wicked left hook. He's coming into the gym, and you can even see, the frustration almost on Derrick James's face, and looking at him on some of those things, is like, dang, why is he doing it like that? Because you know what I mean. You can kind of see it. So that's going to create a rift and a power struggle between the old guard and the new. And as you can see right now, Ryan Garcia is calling out Errol Spence on X, formerly known as Twitter, talking about he want to fight Errol Spence, almost like he's doing it for Derrick James' honor, I guess, which is weird because you just met the man last year. But it's just weird that it's come to this point where it's at a court case and they couldn't settle the differences behind the scenes like men who's known each other for many years. And it begs the question for me, It's like, what if Derrick James doesn't train Errol Spence going forward? Who's going to train Errol Spence? He's a championship caliber fighter. Took one L against pound for pound number one man in the world, so it's not terrible. He pretty much beats probably 90% of all the other fighters in at 147 and 154. So we'll see what happens, but that's a huge blow. Salute.
The circle is now complete. The last time we met, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.